Around this time, I began to run across documentaries and videos of physicists who explained things, and with my new insight, I would see flaws in their conclusions. Secular scientists are good at making observations, but often fail when it comes to explaining them. They fail in psychiatry, they fail in biology, and they fail in physics. Interestingly, I believe it's because all these areas involve God. To deny the origin isn't scientific, it's bias, and that bias is prevalent in physics. So that bias can also lead to all kinds of ridiculous and laughable theories. The Big Bang Theory was immediately discredited by many physicists, even revised by its author because the math didn't work. Yet, according to an AI search, it's still generally accepted and circulated as if it is a proven theory. Some physicists have raised concerns about the Big Bang Theory, citing contradictions between its predictions and observations, as well as proposing alternative models of the universe. However, it remains the most widely accepted explanation for the origin of the universe among the scientific community. String theory was developed out of pure fantasy. The same with multiverses to address the flaws which were becoming more obvious in the Big Bang model.
Oh.
The theories only gained traction because of darkened and vain minds. That, and the fact that Hollywood grabs onto them to incorporate into sci-fi movie themes. The physicists behind these theories try to develop explanations for the unexplainable while avoiding the subject of the one supernatural realm that best explains it all. I was once of the same darkened and vain mind, but God brought me out of it through toil and hard labor. It is our American habit, if we find the foundations of our educational structure unsatisfactory, to add another story or a wing. John Dewey, with this new awakening, when I watched a documentary discussing the Big Bang Theory, I knew immediately it was untrue. They claimed the universe was expanding, with the redshift being the evidence of that expansion. What was revealed to me was that the same principles that govern the atom, the solar system, and galaxies also govern the universe. If an atom is not expanding, neither is the universe. The universe is spinning, and that is the explanation of the redshift. Furthermore, the velocity of the universe's spin is immense. Imagine the weight on a string again. The longer the string, the faster the weight is flying through space. Now apply that to the universe, and you have truly extreme speeds that distort all observation. To refute the Big Bang Theory is to strike into the heart of the secular physicists' belief system. All physics must have physical causes and effects, they claim. They are wrong. Again, to deny a supernatural force without evidence is not scientific. There are many contradictory areas in physics that can only be explained by a supernatural force. For many years, people cited God as the reason and cause, only to later discover the physics behind a phenomenon. Unfortunately, the scientific understanding created arrogance in those who had a vested interest in denying God's existence. At some point, however, we need to get to the origin. My dispute with modern science is about that origin.
While watching a documentary on Einstein's relativity theory, I saw something that made me realize there is an absolute truth to things. Take 3 balls in space that are all moving in different directions. As an example, if you were on one ball, it would look like the others were moving. This is general relativity in a nutshell. These observations, however, would not be an ultimate truth, and that is what I call objective or absolute relativity. All others are subjective relativity. Space-time. Space and time are not constants. I saw this was just not true. For anything to be constant, it must have a constant environment. It can't be true that light is constant without space and time also being constant. This is where relativity gets complicated, and therefore light can appear to slow down if you measure it without the adjustment for the space that is squeezed. Time is a constant, but there is a conflict between the speed of an electron regulated by God's decree and an atom moving through space. The two speeds are in conflict. As a result, if you measure the passage of time with a physical device in 2 separate scenarios, you will see time appearing to pass differently in those 2 objects. However, there is an absolute truth in the universe, and the constant of time cannot be objectively measured in a subjective environment. The physicality of those objects is affected by their circumstances. Thus, the measurement is not objective. Einstein's concept of space-time, I believe, is an error. If this message resonates with you, the full book, Holy Science: How I Stumbled Across the Answers to the Universe, is available as a paperback on Amazon and digital format on Kindle. Be sure to like and subscribe to be alerted when additional video chapters are published.